Hi, hello, and welcome to the Lunar Lounge series brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Ablosi. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the new moon in Taurus, which will be happening on the 30th of April. And that'll be at 10 degrees Taurus, okay? And if you're like into Greenwich Mean Time, then it'll be at 8:27 p.m., which is like 20 hours, 27 minutes on the 30th of April at 10 degrees, 27 minutes of Taurus. It's a new moon, all right? And during the new moon, at the specific time of that event, 8:27 or 20 hours, 20 minutes, there's a few things. So of course, the moon is conjunct the sun because it is a new moon versus the full moon, it would be opposed, right? So that's kind of obvious. But also it is sextiling Mars, so that's positive. That's an opportunistic energy exchange. Also, it is trining the midheaven. So that's opportunistic as well, but it's a gifted exchange versus opportunistic exchange. So the sextile is the sextile between Mars, the sun and the moon, since they're conjunct. That's opportunistic. And then the trine between the midheaven, that's gifted. And it's both a beneficial exchange. All right. Now, in addition, there's also a small sextile between Uranus, the sun, and the moon. Okay. Not really between Mars. A bit. It's activating with the moon between, it always activates. The moon or the node between, it'll activate it. So we have the moon, the sun, Uranus, and Mars all in some kind of gifted energy exchange. All right. And that's at the time of this new moon in Taurus on the 30th of April. Now, at that specific time, the ascending constellation, also known as the rising if you're born at that time, but the ascending constellation just for the time of the event is Sagittarius. So that puts this lunar event, the moon, in Taurus in the 5th house. Now, it's not technical because if you're doing a whole house system, it would actually be the 6th house. But if you're just going according to the degrees, it's the 5th house. So when the sun and the moon are in the 5th house, specifically the moon, our needs are coming from our drive to give towards play. I know the sun is about play, competition, speculation, gambling, but also because it's the 5th house energy. But the moon is actually going to make it where our needs can only get met when we're having this generative energy that's good. So our passions, our drives, our motivations, our desires are going to be most particularly important at this time. In addition, since Uranus is there, it's going to be not kidding. It ain't no joke. Because we will break out, break free. And the sun is about freedom, everlasting freedom. It's about the dharma, meaning the good, positive karma that you come in, that you're born with. And so the insight wisdom is we might get caught ablaze. We might become like an incendiary device is what I'm hearing. Something is going to get triggered with an emotional need that makes sure that we drive towards our drive, desires, passions, motivations, hearts desires, souls, ambitions, because we're not kidding. We're not playing when it comes to what's alive inside. That's really what I'm getting. And with this ascendant energy of Sagittarius, it's about our higher mind, our philosophy, and really the trajectory of our life, how we look at life from the perspective of healing. Now, it's not always conscious healing, but it is really going to be, the arch of the arrow. We're going to be aiming towards I keep hearing the word play, 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 play. Okay, so that's clear. Now, Torino, Taurus, it's about me personally. I put this for order over chaos. Now, it is the system structures, foundations that are applied or that are institutional. So it's a graduation of the Emperor card because the Emperor is Sun in the 10th house or Aries. Now we have the Hierophant Taurus, okay, but it also is Sun in Taurus or, excuse me, Sun in Sagittarius or Jupiter in Pisces is what the Hierophant also stands for. So typically it's about versus like hunter-gatherer or tribal. Hunter-gatherer with the Emperor, it would make it tribal with the Hierophant. So it's always like, what is the Emperor? Graduated. So if the Emperor is alone or in a marriage or in a household, the Emperor would be for a company or organization or a group, right? If the Emperor is kind of like the individual mind, then the Hierophant would be the collective mind or the societal mind, because the Emperor could also talk about small governments or large scale governments when you think about the Pope. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and get in here. And as usual, I will go until I get wait, hold on, we're gonna message to the read. Oh, there's that. Remember what I was saying to you? The Emperor is the Sun in the 10th house. Ain't no nothing else there either. So. Okay, I'm hearing a Shania Twain song. What is that? Be a winner, be a star, be happy, whoever you are. Gotta take your chance, gotta make your move. Come on over, come on in, pull up a seat, take a load off your feet. Come on over, come on in. You can unwind, take a load off your mind. So another thing that I'm picking up is that this is about feeling comfortable, comfortable in our own skin, comfortable in our own environment, comfortable in our own life. We're not going to be compassion baited, shame, any of those things. None of the ninnies, I call them, the nitpicky people always looking at and examining what you're doing and who you are and thinking about ways how you can improve. And that's always agenda based. So they may come from love, but they want something from you, for you, that they're not seeing. So this is about shifting, accepting what's alive in us, who we are, and being willing to go down the path to accomplish what's alive in us and who we are, despite what the consequences are. Because at the end of the day, we're the ones alone with ourselves. And you know my rule, if you're one of my children, I always say, unless they feeding you, fornicating with you, financing you, they don't give a F about you. They shouldn't have nothing to say about you. Okay. So, love is only half the battle. Love is what makes it worthwhile, but it isn't the everything. Check out that Shania song. Come on over, come on in. I'm hearing that. I love her sometimes when I'm in the mood. Pull up a seat and take a load off your feet. Yeah. Well, I think it's Come On Over is the name of the song. The fifth house is very much hanky panky, come on, get that, get down, get down, come on, I'll leave that right there. The moon and the sun there, and the sun is literally when you're planting a seed, it's not necessarily the body fluids, okay? But just the day before, we had Mercury move out of Taurus. So that's always like the child before it actually comes through. Does that make sense? I'm trying not to be graphic here because I'm hearing really dirty terminology. I'm hearing all about, where to stick it and where you putting it and who's receiving it and what's coming out of you and all that stuff. I don't want to talk about any of that. I'm hearing a lot of sexuality here, a lot of sexual terms. Great. Let's do this. Okay. Get this, get this, get this, get this. All right. So we're having some kind of influence of harmony, happiness, fulfillment, satiety, satiation. I don't know what this is. What you gotta say to me, Foo? Let's just do this message to the reader right quickly. Yeah, completely. What we want will not pass us by. We're gonna put the mechanisms in motion this month to get what it is that we want. And some of us don't know, but our heart does have a calling and it will speak to us. And maybe even if it's non-conscious, subconscious, we're going to move towards it in some kind of way. And we're going to begin the mechanisms of manifesting it. Because there's a new beginning or a spark or idea. I'm hearing push the button, don't push the button, flip the station, change the channel. What is that, a Madonna song? Hollywood? Because you're in Hollywood? When I hear Hollywood doing a channel, it's always talking about dreams. It's never a fame and fortune. It's always about something that's bigger than you or that's beyond what you think you can accomplish. Because we're in Hollywood. It also doesn't mean that we're on some kind of stage, especially with the full card there in the center. It literally talks about the video game or the simulation of life itself. Remember I was talking about Mercury earlier, saying like that's the child before it's born. Well, there's yeah, confirmation. And we're dealing with a 3 ace. One of them is hidden, but we're dealing with a double A situation. Push the button. Don't push the button. Flip the station. Change the channel. Yeah, I keep hearing that. So there's something going on where there's like a shift of belief, and we're not conditioned, we're not broken, we're not stuck on stupid, we're not in the box, we are not conditioned. We are breaking free, breaking out us of something. It doesn't need to be what it is. We don't need to know the why, the why, the why, the not. We need to follow our heart's calling, our soul's ambition. Our soul needs to dance alive inside of our body. And anything that's not in alignment with that, I have a feeling we're gonna be. And it's been some time where we've been kind of corralled into some kind of box or blockade. We were pinned down, bound to something. And I do feel over this next cycle, it does evolve with us coming to understanding and awareness of what and how we were bound. Now, sometimes these bindings can just be self-restriction, fear even. You don't get a lot of fear in Jupiter, but it can blow a fear out of proportion. But that would be from the sense of protecting ourselves. But what we're protecting ourselves from here or what we were, this is in the future, but it's going to quickly become the past. That much I know. This fear, we would have been protecting ourselves from what people are going to say. Literally, it's almost as if like a loss of love, like being your unique self is going to cause you to lose love. Well, hey, honey, if your authentic self repels another person, don't worry about it, even if they're family. Truly. Even if you lose your husband, your spouse, your partner, doesn't matter. You've got to be able to sleep at night. And listen, honey, you might sleep at night for a week, for a month, for a year, for a decade, but not forever. If you got a lie to kick it, girl, no. 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 Okay, what else is coming through here? Well, you remember that Rainwright song, cigarettes and chocolate milk? It does seem like when you embark upon whatever it is that you want, it's going to create waves, and not every wave is going to be pleasant. But you see, honey, if at the end of the day, you're safe and secure inside the self, you have faith, hope, and optimism with the creator, you have self-worth and value, strength, courage, and wisdom, you feel in alignment, fully embodied, aware, awake, and conscious. You don't need to worry about the extemporaneous, contemporaneous mitigation factors. If somebody has to fall away, great, let them. If somebody New steps into your life, great, let them. As long as you're not being distracted from really what's alive in you. So the basis of that is intellect, reasoning, communication, but it's further measured by what is your intuition, what are your impressions, what are your instincts telling you. Those get perceived and interpreted through your intellect, reasoning, communication, but your spiritual intellect, reasoning, communication is actually instinct, intuition, and impression. So the thing about it is like happiness and fulfillment is here, but it's just starting. And we do need to go on this journey again, but it's just starting. And we're actually going to get everything that we want, but we don't yet know what we want, but we're being given the beginnings of it. So we're actually being put in the environment, surrounding location where we can accomplish everything that we want. And then the understanding and awareness of what it is that we want will come through later, next, towards the end of the cycle. The cycle being from the 30th of aprile, April, to 29 Majo, which is May. Okay. Really, it goes on for 14 days where the seeds get planted and then they start to show their fruit. And it's not always, oh, here it is. You planted the seed on the 1st and here it is growing on the 16th. No, sometimes it's like you just get intellect, reasoning, communication, intuition. You get some insight, and then it might manifest in the physical 6 months later, but you'll know within a couple weeks, usually 2 to 3. A fortnight is 2 weeks. I'm hearing this song by Pink, and this is her first album back when we thought she was a Black girl before her first video came out. There you go, look at, hit the fuck, just because I let you go. That song, remember that? But sometimes it bees like that. There's a song on that album, it's the very last song. It goes, you never told me about the birds and the bees, about hide and go seek what he gets when he finds me. The thing he put on me has got me so confused. Can somebody help me? Tell me, what should I do? And see, in the song, she goes back to her mother and her father, and she's telling them, listen, I need some help, but I've made some decisions and I'm not bad. I'm not upset about the decisions I've made, but now I'm in a situation where I'm experiencing these feelings, these consequences, these problems. I'm experiencing this dynamic that I've never been in before, and I'd like some guidance through it. And the premise of the song is like, you can't be upset with me for going to these things or through these things because I'm only doing what you used to do. The story behind the story is that it's only natural. It's the natural order of things. But could you help me? Is this love or is this just a curse? So now, translation, is this is self-love. The cost to ignore ourselves, our soul's calling, is too great. Whatever conditioning, programming, whatever the controllers, the mother, daddy, teacher, preacher, whatever the filters of reality, the science books, history books, religious books, the politics, the science, the media, the education, the government, whatever they've been done, told us it ain't working, it ain't gonna work. No. Nah, my child. No. Whatever, however, whatever the life in us will be followed, period. Not no fear, not no mongering, not no compassion baiting, tone policing, not no concern trolling is gonna work. Not no none of that. None of that. It's a wrap. It's been done, been over. Now we're beginning the next phase. And some people are late adopters, late bloomers, and some people are just late to the party, ain't gonna get it. I can explain it to you, my darling, but I can't understand it for you. This is not you directly. It's really what we are saying to the people around us, saying, ooh, oh, I'm scared, I'm basic. I'm scared, I'm basic. Okay, then stay over there in the corner and let me go over here and live my life. Okay, so let us begin. So as I was saying, contentment is coming. Our hopes, wishes, desires, heart's ambitions, soul's desires is on the way. We're going to start working through whatever's in front of us in terms of a blockage, a blockade. And what we're doing is we're slowly but steadily moving through, and it's like an encroaching. You can't escape it. This is the Gajati. Dagaja is the name of it. It's what I talked about in a previous video, the lemon, the ginger, the garlic, the rosemary. There's no garlic in here. The Gaja doesn't have garlic. Okay, so as I was saying, we're embarking upon this journey for our hearts, desires, souls, ambitions to embark into the physical, manifest in the physical. And we're not really just collaborating, but we're working on moving through these obstacles. Now, some of these obstacles is just self-imposed fear, conditioning, programming. We've been bound and conditioned, corralled into some type of corner, into some kind of chamber, into some kind of box. And that was a lot of what I was sensing before. People saying, get back in the box, be conditioned. Who do you think you are, having self-worth and value? Who do you think you are, having faith, hope, and optimism? Why are you so excited about the future? Ew. I'm so sorry to dramatize the idea like that, but that's literally what it was. So we are not for that. We're done. If that's how you come at us, no, it's a wrap. It's been a wrap, but now you get to be informed. And we're slowly beginning to move through something with an open heart. Before, we were either shielding our heart because we didn't want to deal with the consequences of speaking the truth or whatever. There was some kind of emotional, mental mixture of amalgamation, conglomeration, amorphous blob of stuck psychic barrier. That's it. If it hasn't been broken through already, it's going to dissipate. The word they keep throwing around is bindings and blockade. Somebody successfully got us to be stuck on stupid. And we may have given the permission over. It can also just be values that you were given in youth that when you grow up, you learn that aren't so great. I'm, as much as this is a personal thing I'm sharing, as much as I want to stick with members of my tribe, Southeast Ghana, Gan tribe, as much as I want to stick with lovers from my own tribe, first of all, it's illegal there. Second of all, I'm not attracted to people of my own tribe. I like a very stark contrast in skin. I'm a swirler. I swirl. I swirl, meaning I date mostly white guys. I come across this a lot because most of the guys, because I'm into height, ink, length, and kink. That's what makes me attracted to you. So normally when I'm looking through your tattoos, there's going to be a swastika there. Does that make sense? So that means at some time or other, they had to go through some kind of change in belief, change in conditioning, change in, it's not uncommon for me to look at somebody's tattoos when I'm dating and be like, what's the story here? What kind of family did you come from? Because of course they were taught hate as a child, and then they grow up and not only are they into Black people, but they're homosexual, bisexual, whatever, who cares, right? That's my own example, but that's a stark one. I don't even need to dramatize it. That's true and real. So imagine all the other ones. Sometimes people are told lies. Sometimes people are like Nigerians. Their parents always tell them, "Oh, you're gonna grow up and be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, maybe a banker, an accountant." But me, I grew up with my mother figure telling me to be a plumber or a postal worker, like that was ever going to satisfy me. And when I went on and started my own business at 18, another one at 21, another one at 24, all I got from my family was doubt, fear, worry, and concern trolling. Aren't you afraid? Aren't you worried about your next paycheck? Look at me, I bought a house with my federal government salary. That kind of thing. I don't mean to get too personal here. I know I talk about very controversial topics. The other time I was talking about abortion, now I'm talking about Nazis. I apologize. But it's like that. I need to go there because it's dramatic. And remember what I said, Uranus was in a positive energy exchange with that. So Uranus is like that. First of all, it's dramatic. Uranus takes on the energy of K2 a lot. So that's a breaking out, breaking free, no longer being willing to deal with something, no longer seeing something the same way. You know, it can be very dramatic, very taboo. K2, Uranus, Rahu, when you see those in a chart anywhere near some other aspects, it can make the energy of whatever is aspecting very atypical, abnormal, amorphous, or even taboo. I'm getting that because it's saying whatever is going on, this is strict. Sometimes you can, because I use the majors as multipliers. Like I'm reading the minors as energy, but I'm reading what to do with this energy from the majors, major arcana. So with this death card, literally it's saying everything that I'm perceiving right now is true, correct, and real. The only modification to make is that it's strict. So it's inevitable is the word. Whatever you hear me saying that it resonates with you, it's inevitable. We are breaking out, breaking free, period. We are going towards our heart's desires, period. We are breaking out of bonds, breaking out of spells, breaking out of curses, breaking out of fears, becoming unbound, period. That makes sense. And it will be difficult because, again, with this Four of Cups here, somebody done gave us something. It's two interpretations here. Somebody gave us something. Our parents might have said, be like this. The society might have said, this is what the truth is. You know, the science books, history books, religious books might be giving us this information. And we're like, no, not good enough. I'm going to go the whole cycle, the whole journey, even if it's a burden, even if it's difficult, as long as it's difficult and not complicated, meaning hard, not complicated, I'm going to do it. And also the other interpretation is we would have been believing for some time that something might have been out of our hands or that we couldn't do something. We might have felt rejected. We might have felt overlooked too. And now through going down the journey, embarking on the journey, going down the path, we're discovering, oh, hey, that was inaccurate, or the way that that belief settled wasn't quite in alignment. Yeah, okay, so this is just a really difficult cycle here. It's like, and the devil's here, doesn't want me saying nothing. Fuck you, homie. Bye. Excuse my language, everybody. So this is difficult. Not like like nasty, but like difficult. Now it's saying, listen, the brightest of the bright, the chosen of the chosen, even them is going to be difficult because you're going to go where you want. You're going to meet the energy that you need, but all around you is going to be people with skill, with intellect, with reasoning community. They're going to use the system against you. They're going to use all their thoughts, all their beliefs, all their facts, all their figures, and you're going to have to stand up. It's 9 of Wands. You're going to have to stand up against all this masters of the mind, King of Swords here. And also I'm hearing some magic. So whenever you have the 9 of Wands, that's the evil eye. So that's somebody trying to put a curse on you. They can be projecting onto you. They, like I was saying, concern trolling. Like concern trolling example. Aren't you afraid that XYZ elemental P? Do you really think you can A, B, C? What evidence do you have that EFG even exists or that, you know, elemental P is even possible for you? That's concern trolling. So with this master of the mind and this projection or evil eye, it's a lot of people projecting doubts and fears on. And then we have on the periphery, the death card and the hangman card, which means God has to get angry. We have to be fed up. We need to have, even if it's internal, which usually with this energy it would be, where we're like, okay, F this, no more. That's a wrap. Like, I'm done. excuse me, I don't mean to startle you, but you know, we don't come for me. Don't come for me like that. It's got to be like that, because no, 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 no. And this, listen, honey, this is the chosen of the chosen group, God's children. So anybody who's a little bit less vibrational, who's not quite on the path yet, it's going to be much harder for them. And like I said, this is inevitable. So there's a lot of dispersal. There's a lot of cold, harsh truth. There's a lot of prickliness. There's a lot of doubt and fear. And the primordial creation is here, but also there's a lot of abyssal mysteries, meaning we can get lost. We can get, the tide may take us. We can get shrouded in emotions. Somebody can come over and trample in our garden, our precious little new growth, new fledgling, new little sprout can get trampled on. A lot of people are going to try to get in. And if we do get the bless up, if we do, start to get traction to what we want, there will be energies, people, places, and things that try to snatch. And it also has a little bit of that, I'm jealous of you. Why do you have it instead of me? So it's different strokes for different folks, but it's the same energy. I was just saying, the chosen of the chosen of the chosen, them, it'll be the projecting, concern trolling is what it's called. And then and from there it gets even worse. You hear me? From there it gets even more toxic. I'm sorry, there's more here, but it's not any more pleasant. Like, who are these little bitchikus around? Ew. Why you gotta be a hater, eh? Like, why don't you get something going on for yourself? Why does me and my life, me and my business, me and what I got going on anger you so much, concern you so much? I don't understand that. Like, and you're gonna wipe my butt for me too? You're telling me what to do, how to do it. Why don't you also, like, pay my bills? Well, go get something going on for yourself. One thing I will say, because this is nasty, yo. I mean, it's beautiful, but nasty. Like the major arcanas are really saying, okay, it's not toxic, but let me tell you what these majors are taking care of. They're taking care of toxicity. Okay. So some of these people are not even going to tell you. So they're really skillful at getting you to stop what you're doing. And they're going to come gung-ho, meaning they fully believe the bullshit they're peddling. To them, what they're saying is real. Look at me. Imagine if the mother figure had convinced me to go and get a government job. Where I would not be on YouTube. Well, yeah, I would not be on YouTube. I was on YouTube back in 2008, but I was a financial consultant at the time. I was doing financial advice on YouTube. And that was like, they'd only been around a year. And I had a lot more subscribers back then than I do today. So this is my second time around on the YouTube. And I've never been happier. I couldn't imagine any other life. And I hate social media. I hate getting on camera, but it's what God told me to do. So it's one of those things of like, what would happen if somebody concerned trolled me back into the corner, back into the box, told me to be conditioned, and I believed them. And we're going to be stuck in this place for a while. There will be a sense of loss. There will be a sense of no surrender and sacrifice, meaning either we surrender and sacrifice our heart's desires, souls, ambitions, or we surrender and sacrifice to not having any support and being ridiculed. So the truth is the truth. It's incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may derail it, but in the end, there it is. At first, they laugh at you, they disbelieve you, then they mock you, then they get very violent with you, and then they embrace you. So it's a long way to acceptance. And you know the truth by the way it feels. The universe is conspiring to help you. They're gonna go ahead and give you everything that you want. The ascended masters, the guardian angels. However, it's pre-warfare. because that's the last thing I wanted to say. These people, the mental, masters of the mind, if this is a witch, oh my, whew, we don't have enough here, but it's a connection here. It's a conjunction. So the two witch cards are right there with each other. And I did hear another witch term, which is, I forget what it's called in Voodoo, swapping somebody's head. Where it's like you see somebody, it's like stealing someone's job or taking credit for their work or plagiarizing, but on a spiritual level. Where like you see a blessing coming to them, and so what you'll do is you'll swap your head and you'll take their karma and give them your karma. And you need to be a master magician to do that. It takes a lot of, it's not like skill as in like craft or like having a strong practice, but you need to know a lot in order to be, and that would be exactly this douchebag, McFuckface, McAsshole, McMotherfucker. Excuse my language, but I don't like him today. I don't like, and I love the King of Swords. A lot of people don't like the swords. A lot of people don't like the Tower. I love those cards. I am all about the Tower. I am all about the King and Queen of Swords. Not today, homie. I might as well be this little dainty motherfucker here. Excuse my language. This little pussy man here, I call him. Oh, do you like me? Oh, run away. That's usually what I talk about him. Today, no. This person's coming from the heart. They're driving life forward, expanding according to their heart's desires, souls, ambitions. They're fully embodied, fully awakened, and in touch with their sensitivity, with their intuition. This person is being led, spirit led. This person is a block, a master demon. That's that difference between that accidental evil and intentional evil. This douchebag McFuckface, as I said before, not clean, not nice, not polite. They literally are going to make it their business to block you. So Pluto's out here too. It's hidden, but it's here. We have two indications of Pluto. When I opened up this gate here, it did say the angry God was coming because it's a war against the chosen children. So you know those naysayers, sometimes like it's the devil on their shoulder. We can't let that be the devil in our heads. We can't let the devil on their shoulder be the voice in our head. Excuse my language. I'll clean it up again. I did a good job of that for a while. You see, substance, it needs no proof. Either it is or it isn't. And you know the truth by the way it feels. You don't need to listen to lip service. So then once we learn how to deal with this cold, harsh truth, this prickly nature, it's going to be a buzzkill. Like people are raining on our parades, they're trampling through our rose garden kind of deal. Once we learn to deal with that, or we get stronger at dealing with that, we'll know how to leverage it. And leverage is going to look like boundaries and standards, period. Either you celebrate me or you tolerate me. If you tolerate me, I don't need to tell you what I'm doing, what I'm planning. I might have to deal with you because you're family. I might have to deal with you because you're a coworker, but I'm not going to share my heart's desires, souls, ambitions with you anymore. That kind of boundary. Because we also do need to allow people to be repelled from our lives. So if somebody is sitting there talking shit, excuse my language, then we know who they are. And what I call it is a filter. I let people filter themselves out of my life. If you do not celebrate me, if you act like a hater, you are done. And no, your excuses that you're making, the little responses and retorts that you have are inconsequential to me. Your behavior and your belief system and your attitude will do all the decision for me. And I will let you filter yourself out of my life and I won't care. Period. You want to go, goodbye. Because you could have stayed. And you chose to be dumb, deaf, blind, and fucking stupid. So goodbye, good riddance. See, I ain't got no problem. But see, this is where we're at right now as a collective. Okay. So it's saying like, listen, there's going to be transitions and reversals, but they're going to come from prickly, harsh, cold, severe, painful experiences. And when those experiences happen, lean in. It's hard to take rejection. Sometimes we want to fight or convince somebody of something else. No, let people filter themselves out of your life. If they want to come into your life, let them. If they want to stay in your life, let them. If they want to leave your life, let them. Don't chase them down. Don't run them down. Don't explain no nothing. Don't tell them no nothing if you ain't got to. And you'll know when you got to because you'll be called to. You shouldn't be in your mind when you're deepening a bond with somebody. You should be in your heart. The mind is a witness. The heart is the guide. See, if you're sitting there thinking how to massage the truth and hide the facts just to help somebody with their feelings, that's work and drama you do not need to be participating in. Either it's a flow or it's not a go. And everybody's gonna wanna say, but, don't be rude, don't, why you like that? Dude, I'm just responding to the energy in my environment. I can either align with this bullshit or I can unalign with it and be happy. You decide. Because you're making the choice easy for me. See, that's maturation, okay? Okay, great, we're out of it. Whew, that was tough. Ooh, honey. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, now it's a little bit better. We got this little prickly thing right coming, but it's just stripping whatever we thought. And see, we're gonna have such a strong will, such a strong drive, desire, passion, motivation. We're gonna want to set the world ablaze. We're gonna want to embark, strike our will upon the environment, strike our will upon the universe. It's great because the universe is conspiring to help us, which means our horizons will start to broaden, but it's because we will have planted seeds and we'll be sitting there waiting, protecting whatever it is that we're working on. And it's going to strip us. This is a stripping. It's when reality needs to come for you, or you might have also succumbed to some kind of sabotage and you're now recognizing it. But it's not like that for us because we have another Mars indicator. It's never like that. When the chariot card, whenever these two cards come out, and this is not the tutorial channel, I have another channel for that. Whenever these two cards come out, it's not negative. Okay, but this is, remember I was saying, you might just be becoming aware of sabotage. These two cards together is sabotage. Okay, but not with the chariot card. It means you're driving through. You're allowing people to filter themselves in or out of your life. In the traditional card, there are some spilled cups, 5 of cups, but you know what? Also, there's some cups that are still upright. What do I say? Unless they're feeding you, fornicating with you, financing you, they shouldn't be giving no F about you. Like I said, they need to get something going on for themselves. Why are they so concerned about you and yours, what you do and how you do it? Soul's wisdom, plant the seeds. And see, we're getting rest and recovery. See, once we face these cold, harsh truths and we're no longer attached to the outcome, especially in relationships, then we can allow the universe to conspire with us. Because if we're spending all this time chasing after people, places, and things that are not right for us, we leave no room, no space, no time for the things that are divinely right for us to catch up to us. One more time. If we spend all this time, energy, and attention chasing after people, places, and things that are not right for us, we leave no room, no space, no time for the things that are right for us to catch up to us. If we are distracted trying to explain ourselves or heal relationships that are obviously wanting to end, or relationships that are obviously asking to be redrafted, restructured, less important. If we're trying to hold on to these things, we're blocking our blessings. This is the time when we really embark upon our own We can't be holding on, keeping on, okay? The only thing we can do that is with ourselves. So if there are gonna be, we're gonna see a lot of things working out once we let go, especially of people. I'm hearing this song. I don't know who it is. I think it's Joanna Brady, I think her name is, from Boston. Keep on keeping on, keep your head up high. You got to work with what you got. What are the lyrics? Okay, let up is what I just got told. You got to keep on keeping on. You got to keep your head up high. You got to work with what you got, because someday you will fly. Poor kids pouring cold water on their cereal. Secondhand clothes, surviving is pivotal. Praying to God at night that things will get better soon. I remember when I was in your position, tried to tell people my story, but no one would really listen. I know times are hard right now. Happiness is hard to find right now. You got to keep on keeping on. You got to keep your head up high. You got to work with what you got, because someday you will fly. You got to keep on keeping on. You got to keep your head up high. Yep, that's the song. It wouldn't stop playing. Sometimes I got to sing a few lyrics to shut that thing up, because that girl, ooh, I spent many hours of my youth listening to JoJo. But the devil came. The devil is saying that we need to go through this prickly, sticky, ridiculous conflict, because what will happen is, if we don't, we'll never learn about saboteurs. There will be people right in front of our faces that are stealing our blessings and benefits, and we won't even know. We're going to have to get cold water in the face. We're going to have to get our heart stabbed a couple times. We're going to have to get heartbroken, or we won't recognize an enemy, because now, since we're going to new levels, we're dealing with new devils. And it's saying, yeah, the reason it took so long to start getting what you want is because you had to get educated on something you were unwilling to be educated on. You were stuck in some kind of belief. So basically, you had put yourself in a corner. Whether you were put in the corner, you decided to stay in the corner if you were put there. You got to come out from under this one or handful of beliefs, less than half a dozen. Yeah, keep on keeping on. So you would have had to go through a couple battles, or they were never going to bless you, the spirits. They weren't going to do it, not the way that we wanted. And they really wanted to bless you, and they're happy that you went through this, because you needed to get strong enough. I'm fine struggling as long as it's not because another human created that struggle. If a spirit created it, that's different. And see, me, I don't even notice when I'm going through a struggle. I don't. You know, things could be a hardship and I won't even notice. It's really pointless for a person to interrupt, interfere, intervene, intercede in what I got going on, because my mind doesn't notice. I just take it on and keep on moving. I don't even process or fathom. But see, I grew up, I had a really hard childhood, like a difficult one, like one of those stories that you hear on the news. It was awful. There was a lot of love present, but it was just awful. It was just awful. So maybe that's it. My whole life I've been fighting. I would have never interpreted these cards the way that I'm interpreting them. I'm so glad for this intuitive channel. I would not know. See, to me, the devil makes everything ugly in the reading. I'd be saying these emotional, jealous bitches, you know, I'd be going off. They're like, no, you just need to learn about enemies because you're going to do all this work and the enemy's going to come in at the last moment and take it away. It's like you run in the house for 5 seconds to put the groceries and you come out and your car's been stolen, that kind of deal. And some people will call that stupidity. I wouldn't. I have a lot of trust. I am very naive and gullible. Yeah, we need to learn discernment here, but it's only going to be a discernment of the heart, not the mind. So remember what I was saying, you got to be wary of those naysayers, those mental magicians, those masters of the mind. Later on, what came out is said, okay, once you clear those mofos out the way, mofo means motherfucker. Once you clear those mofos out the way, what you need to do then is recognize when the loving, caring, genuine, kind-hearted, authentic, genuine, sincere come through, and they're going to come around a lot slower and a lot more steady than the haters, the naysayers, and the concern trollers. Also, another thing they're saying is that the naysayers come quick and they leave quickly. The real ones, they come around a lot slower. They come slower, but they stay longer. Does that make sense? Great, we're done. Woo shaka, woo shaka. Yeah, okay, so we're on this journey of confronting what we need to confront in order to come into universal alignment. And it's going to be different strokes for different folks, but generally the energy is going to hit with us needing to understand the agendas of others. We need discernment because most people, when they come towards us from now on, are going to have some kind of agenda, period on period. And we need to learn how to navigate and negotiate through this, meaning me, I have a rule. I'm just going to say it. When the person comes toward me and this hurt so much in the beginning, it was difficult. I kept feeling like I was losing opportunities and losing misconnections, false starts, those kinds of deals. Like I felt like I was chasing everybody away from me, but eventually it hurt to do it and it hurt not to do it. And thankfully it was more painful not to do it than it was to do it, or I would have stopped. Because I didn't have a lot of social intelligence for many years. And so when I'm having the same issue with multiple people, I think I'm the issue. But when people come towards me and it's unclear, first of all, do not approach me without a clear intention. And most people don't know how to do that. Humans are fucking stupid. Especially West Coasters. Oh, disgusting. I get along really well with like German and Austrian and Swiss and like East Coast people because they're blunt. I prefer matter of fact, blunt. Okay. So what would happen would be like they'd come towards me and I'd be like, well, what do you want? Excuse me, please. Walk away. You know, declare your intention, define your mission, state your objective. What do you want? And you know, it's a little scientific, but when you say that to people, they're like, and they run away in fear. But you guess what? I'm happy and sleeping well and like harmonious inside myself. When before, it's gonna get confusing. It's gonna get very, 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 very confusing because people are gonna come to you because you can give them something. They're not gonna say what it is that you're gonna give them because really what's going on is there's an agenda. And what this is saying is that when we master our strategies, tactics, and methods of dispersing or expanding down the path or the energy on the path, it's going to give us discernment into these agendas. We need to stay on high ground or on a high horse or on our position because hellfire. And literally, you can use hellfire to temper the sword, but there is requirement of knowledge, insight, foresight, and wisdom because you need to see things for what it is, not after the fact. No learning lessons after the fact. You need to see it coming at you. If you normally are afraid of hellfire, figure out how to turn that fear of hellfire into excitement, because now you have somebody has lit a fire for you to strengthen and temper your steel. You see this shift? It's not a change, it's just a pivot. It's just a shift, a tweak. So this is what wraps up the whole thing, because a spell needs to be broken, a curse needs to be lifted. In order to be in alignment, we need to have discernment on the ready all the time. We do need to be prickly. Remember what I was describing? It's like repelling people away, because I'm like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Now I understand, if a person approaches me and it's not clear what they want, after 2 seconds, I'm annoyed. And you see, I grew up being shamed when I would get annoyed and not wanting to talk to somebody. Don't be like that. Don't be rude, is what I was always told as a little boy. And then it took me a long time. Well, I was in my 30s when I discovered, oh, I just have really sharp intuition, very keen sensitivities. And my psyche, my soul is telling me that something's not right. You know, so when you're like, what do you want? Or can you help me understand what I can help you with? Or can I help you with something? Yeah, okay, it may be rude to a person who lives on the West Coast, but you know what? My rule is, can I sleep at night? Because now I know if I don't do certain things, if I don't say certain things, if I allow certain things to happen to go down a certain way, I'm gonna lose sleep. And see, mama don't lose sleep over nobody, no thing. No. I will not allow it. I will get my sleep. Let me tell you, I am unapologetic about it. And I sleep 9 hours, 10 hours a night. And see, I'm not a kind, nice, lovely person if I don't. I need lots of sleep, rest. I take several naps through the day as well. I rest a lot. So this is it. This is what we have here. This is really the channeled message. And I'm not going to be ratchet like I usually am today. I mean, I'm not going to be ratchet like I was today usually. I have no idea what's going on. And this coaster is smaller than my cup. I don't know how to do that. Okay. That cigarettes and chocolate milk song is coming through so strongly right now. You can't make this up. Self-worth, gratitude, and intuition on the grounds of free spirit. Do what I told you, because then your spirit will be free. Yeah, we're enslaved trying to make everybody like us and trying to, respectability politics and virtue signaling is so passe. It's so outdated. It's so last decade. It's just ill. That's so pre-Trump, okay? Just away with it. Please, goodbye. I don't know. Goodbye. Ugh. 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 I'm disgusted. Okay, because what I'm getting right now, oh, all right. Yeah, well, what falls to the floor comes to the door. These cars pulled through is what I just got told with that thing falling to the floor. Because externally, what everybody's trying to get us to do is world within world. They want to take us in. They want to, resistance is futile. You will be assimilated. That's what that is. Because what we're trying to do is only attract people. Our vibe attracts our tribe, and really, what we need is this intuition. Intuition. Let me read this. This is by Nadi Anastasia's Cosmic Activation Cards for the Soul, and that's on page 57, card number 18. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created the science. One more time. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. And that's by Mr. Einstein. Okay. When we pray with sincerity, it comes from the heart. But do you find that your prayers often go unheard and unanswered? You are open when it comes to praying, dear one, but when it comes to receiving, you are closed. Most often, fears and doubts creep in to form barricades that block messages and communication and gifts from spirit, the universe, or God, source, or whatever you want to call that loving presence that speaks to you through your intuition, dreams, and visions is a quieter, gentler voice that often goes unheard. If you have drawn this card, dear beloved, Spirit is asking you to pay closer attention to that inner voice and intuition. It has been communicating to you that the answers and guidance you seek come from going within and listening to inner guidance. This requires being open and away from distractions. Do not be misguided by the voice of the ego. The ego is loud, disruptive, and will do anything in its power to convince you that you are doing a foolish thing that is a waste of time. Do not let the voice of ego fill your head with negative and disruptive thoughts. Simply observe this loud voice. Now give that quieter, gentle, loving voice within you a chance. Life is not about killing the ego. It is simply nurturing and watering the divine within you. In doing so, the ego fails to grow and survive in the light-filled body of love. Prayer. May I always have the wisdom and clarity to listen to the divine guidance and intuition within me. The associated chakra is the heart. A lot of people living in the mind are going to become devilish. And I don't want to mean that. I don't want to say that if you are mental, then you're the devil. But once the devil takes over the mind, that's when he can enter and push God out. The mind is the sixth sense. A lot of people say it's clairvoyance. No. Listen to mama. The mind is the sixth sense. The mind, intellect is the sixth sense. Okay. All those other five senses, they're instinct. The mind is the sixth sense. Okay, that's intuition and intellect. Okay, so it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege and pleasure to do so. If anything that was said resonates with you, go ahead and check the energy and the show notes. Take good care of yourself. Goodbye.